Hello and welcome to Cheap Eats, a cooking show by college students for college students.
Today we're going to be trying a 4-course meal: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert.
Wow, I haven't had 4 meals in one day since high school.
Yeah, same. I'm so excited to see how this goes. It's gonna be great.
So for breakfast, we're gonna be trying a homemade breakfast sandwich. Let's see the clip.
How to make an egg, tomato, mozzarella, spinach, pesto bagel. First, coat the preheated pan with margarine or butter. Once coated, add your egg. While the egg is frying, pop the bagel in the toaster so the two things cook simultaneously. Take this time to prepare your other ingredients. Cut about 1 to 2 slices of mozzarella and cut about 1 to 2 slices of tomato. Once your bagel is toasted, check up on your egg. Check up on your egg and flip. Next up is pesto. Add the pesto to your bagel on one or both sides, whichever you prefer. Add 1.5 to 2 slices of mozzarella and add 1 to 2 slices of tomato. Then add your spinach. If the egg is cooked to your preference, take it off the stove and add it to your bagel. Then you can serve and enjoy. Simple instructions on how to make a cheap, tasty breakfast.
Now this looks super delicious. The smell of it is awesome. Like, I'm super excited to take a bite out of this.
So good. Such simple ingredients. Can't wait to dive in.
Really it really is super good. It's very Italian, and which I love, and like you can really taste every single individual flavor, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
So that was a good cheap breakfast, but we still have more to come. Next up, we have a homemade mac and cheese, so let's watch.
So for our lunch portion of Good Eats, we're going to be making homemade macaroni and cheese. You're going to need macaroni, flour, salt and pepper, butter, and of course the cheese. You're going to want to have 1/4 cup of butter, so you're going to want to cut 4 slices of stick butter. While you're doing this, you're going to have your water boiling, so that can be ready for when the pasta is coming in. Then you're going to measure 1/4 cup of your flour. Once your water is boiling, you can start to put your pasta in so that it can start to cook. And you keep stirring the pasta so it doesn't get lumpy or clumpy and it stays separated from each other. You're gonna let that boil for a few minutes, and you're gonna want to melt your butter. Once the butter is melted, you want to insert the flour into there, and you're going to mix that up. You're going to mix it until it's nice and smooth and there's no lumps in the flour and butter. Then you're going to add 2 cups of milk. You're going to want to mix the flour, the butter, and the milk so it's nice and smooth and it has a liquid consistency to it. And then you're going to add 2 cups of shredded cheese. And while you've mixed your cheese, the flour, the butter, and the milk together, you're gonna have the pasta still boiling. And by this time, after a few minutes, the pasta should be nice and tender and ready to be drained. And then you're gonna add the cheese sauce to the macaroni and mix that up. And that's it. That's your homemade macaroni and cheese. Perfect for a quick lunch.
Now this I'm super excited for because I recently watched like 2 friends of mine have sort of like a fight on Instagram where they went on Instagram Live and they each prepared 2 different mac and cheese dishes, and like they were trying to like argue which one was going to be better, and ever since that I've been craving mac and cheese, so I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that making homemade mac and cheese is really difficult, but it's really not. As you saw in the video, it's not that many steps and it tastes so good.
It tastes so good.
This is absolutely delicious.
Yum.
When we come back, we're going to be trying dinner and dessert right after these commercial breaks. Welcome back to Cheap Eats, a cooking show by college students for college students.
So far, we've eaten breakfast and lunch, so next up we have dinner, a potato and vegetable medley. Roll the clip.
So for our dinner portion of Good Eats, we're gonna need some broccoli, spinach, potatoes, mushrooms, and your favorite seasonings. First off, you're gonna wanna wash the potatoes and make sure they're all nice and clean, and then you're gonna start cutting them. You can cut them as big or as small as you like. I'm cutting them into fourths. I cut them into fourths so that they're as small as possible, so they're like little cubes. After you cut the potatoes, you put them in the pan, and you get your favorite seasonings, and you start to sprinkle them with seasoning, and you're making sure that everything is all seasoned to your liking, as much or as little seasoning as you'd like. I personally use Lowry's seasoning. I also use Old Bay seasoning, give it a little bit of a seafood flavor, being that this is a vegetarian dish. And also, before you put it in the oven, you want to sprinkle a little bit of oil on there, preferably canola oil or vegetable oil, just so that it can bake properly and evenly. After you season and put oil on your potatoes, you're going to want to set the oven to 450 degrees and put it in there. And then you can start preparing your vegetables. Right here we're cutting up some mushrooms, making sure they're good size and not too big, not too small. Then you're gonna cut up the broccoli after you've washed it and made sure it's clean. You're gonna cut it as big or as small as you'd like. And then you're gonna want to spread out the spinach and make sure it's fresh and it's all good to cook with. After you cut up and prepared your vegetables, you're gonna put the mushrooms in a pot. Make sure they're evenly spread out and looking good. Then you're gonna put some seasoning on it, as much or as little as you'd like. You're gonna use the oil to create a kind of a saute so that they can cook evenly and thoroughly. And then you're going to place the spinach on top. Mind you, the spinach does cook pretty quickly and it will go down very rapidly. So you might want to put that in when the mushrooms are about halfway cooked. After you put the spinach in, you're going to want to place the broccoli in there. And you season it as much or as little as you like, as I've been saying this entire video. I personally like lots of seasoning and making sure everything is evenly cooked, so I use a good amount of seasoning and oil, but that's up to your discretion. And then you make sure you keep it on a medium simmer, and then you prepare it and you let it saute for a little bit. You mix it up so that everything's getting cooked evenly and nothing is burning or sticking to the pan. Then you want to take out the potatoes, and that's your meal. Enjoy!
Wow.
So yeah, I'm super excited about this. One of my I was a very picky eater growing up, so I had a lot of trouble always branching out and eating vegetables and stuff like that. Thank you very much.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm super excited about this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just really like that ever since I've gotten to college, I've finally been able to branch out and eat vegetables. The same thing happened with my mom. So yeah, this should be delicious.
And what's so fun about this is that it's so customizable. Obviously for this one there is potatoes, there's some broccoli, mushrooms, and spinach, but you can really kind of mix and match to whatever fits your budget or fits what you like.
Absolutely. There's so much that you can do in order to add flavor to your dish, and you can make it really anything that you want it to be. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand if they don't know cooking very well, is that there's so much seasonings out there, so much sauces that can just make a dish, and it's just everything that you want it to be. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Well, that was really tasty, but now I'm craving something sweet after all that savory.
Sounds like it's time for dessert.
Damn right it is. For dessert, we're gonna be trying cheesecake bites. Let's see the clip.
Now I have like a huge sweet tooth. That's something I get
Yes.
from my grandmother, so I know that I'm going to be like definitely big on this. So I'm super excited to see how
Absolutely.
this tastes.
Can't wait.
Oh my god. It tastes just like you got it from like the store or something like that. It's so good. You know, like one of my favorite parts about like desserts is like when I feel like they're often so good that they very often like can feel like store-bought, and like that's just like one of the most rewarding things ever when you know that you've made it for yourself and you've made it on a budget, and it's just like so awesome.
Yes, and especially with the holidays coming up, you know, making desserts or bringing to potlucks is something everybody does. So these are so simple and so easy to make. It seems like a home run for bringing them to any party.
Yeah, they're so flavorful, they're so delicious. It's absolutely amazing. I can't get enough of like desserts, and
I know. And these, as you saw, you could top them with cherries or anything you want. But these
Whipped cream might be a good addition.
Yeah, this would be fun if you had like a topping bar. You could do that at any party that you want. Make them really customizable, super fun for any party.
Have like an event. They're super simple to make. So like even if you like have like maybe like children getting involved on the staff and stuff, that could be, you know, like that would help. But
And a perfect way to end this meal that we had today. It was so good.
absolutely. You know, I never thought I could be this well fed in college on a budget, but we'll be right back after a message from our sponsors.
Welcome back. What a meal we've had today. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert.
I know, and like all in such quick succession. It's amazing. And like the thing is, I fall into the trap of not really knowing how to make excellent recipes for myself, you know? And so this has like kind of shown to me that like you can create very quality meals at home and like you don't have to rely on like going out to eat, which is like often like what I end up doing because I'm like, oh, well, like I can't cook as good, but like as long as you follow a recipe, you can do anything. And so I think that it's very important to like learn how to cook, especially when you're in college, because when you have that budget, it's like very nice to be able to, you know, cook for yourself, enjoy your meal, and also save yourself a ton of money.
Saves so much money from going out. And breakfast today, that bagel was so good. The melted cheese on the egg, it was
Oh my
so
God,
tasty.
it was so good. It was like the bagel was toasted just right, you know, like it was like that perfect in between of like golden brown, but like
Yes.
not too burnt, but
Yeah.
like not too like soft either.
Yeah.
And then you could just taste like every single flavor. So
Yeah.
like it was just like a nice combination of like every single thing that you could like want in like a breakfast sandwich. It's energetic or like it's rejuvenating, you know,
Yeah.
like it really gets you ready for the day.
Absolutely. And lunch was so good. That mac and cheese was so creamy and delicious.
Yeah.
I loved that.
I love like thick mac and cheese. Like it just like it feels like nice and it like keeps you full for a long amount of time because it just like sits in your stomach. It's
Yeah.
delicious, but it's like so just it's everything that you want it to be.
Yeah.
And you know, it's so simple to make, you know,
Right.
like it only takes like what 3 or 4 ingredients
Yeah.
and you're gonna make it like that. And so, you know, it's very easy to just make a wonderful meal. And so
And you can
I
make
love
so much of it too. You can save it and have it throughout the week, so you can have that for multiple lunches, which saves you so much time and money. Especially college students, we're busy, we don't have a ton of money to make food, so that's a great option.
And there's so many ways that you can like customize mac and cheese
Yeah.
as well. Like there are people that like throw bacon bits in there, and like there's so many different options for what you can do. And so I really like
Yeah.
that you can just add so much to it, and you can make it like your own dish. Because when you go out to restaurants and things like that, you very often have to depend on like whatever the restaurant has to offer, and they might tell you like, no, sorry, we don't do that. Sorry, we don't serve that, etc. So
Right.
it's super nice when you know you're able to just do whatever you want.
And speaking of doing whatever you want, that dinner was so good. The vegetable medley with the potatoes, so customizable. We used russet potatoes, but you can use sweet potatoes, you can use squash, anything you want, whatever's in season, whatever's in your budget. So simple to make, and so I think that was what, 2 pans? I know college students have 2 pans to spare.
Exactly. Not to mention the fact that like with the 2 pans, that really helps like save like your cooking space, and like it helps save
Yeah.
time on cleaning, which is
Right.
another wonderful thing. I know that especially after I've eaten like a really heavy, hearty meal, like I never really want to like get up and like go do the cleaning. Which I mean, you can always like clean while you cook, but it's nice when you like have like such a limited space, and that's another reason why like cooking everything together is also
Yeah.
super nice, because it helps build up the flavor very quickly and like has them kind of like mesh together.
Yeah.
So I think it's really smart to like use multiple pans for like one pot sort of combinations like that. It's super good.
Absolutely. And then to finish off with that dessert, those cheesecake bites were so tasty, really sweet, but also that little bit of salt from the cream cheese in it was so good.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it was like prepared just right. You like there's so much that you can do with it. There's like we used like Nilla wafers, but like there's so many different like types of like crusts that you can make, and so
you could do graham cracker if you wanted, anything you want. And if you wanted a chocolate spin, you could do like Oreos if you wanted, and do a cookies and cream route, anything you wanted.
it's super simple, super easy to make, and it's, as you said, it's super like good and like in time for the holidays, because it's everyone like loves desserts. There's so many like cookie parties, and like that's a good way that you could sort of make yourself like apart from everyone else. So it's very good, and so
Absolutely.
yeah, I love it. And you know, there's lots of like wonderful things that you can make on a budget, and I know like one of my favorites is teriyaki chicken. You know, only like requires 2 or 3 ingredients. It's fantastic.
Right. Well, that is all the time and food we have for today.
Thank you all so much for watching us eat. But seriously, we hope we've helped you see how good you can eat cheaply.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Cheap Eats.
Thank you.